Welcome to our city. This week's program is our end-of-the-year review, where we bring you highlights of our city. 2018 was a great year for the City of Elizabeth. Our city recognized the importance of providing its constituents with technology that can improve their lives. This year, we launched GovPilot, an online program that allows residents to voice their concerns and send photos to us immediately in real time. Information is automatically routed to the proper departments for remedial action. Elizabeth also launched Recycle Coach, a free app designed to help make recycling and solid waste pickup information more accessible to our residents and engage the public in principles of reduce, reuse, and recycle. The city remains committed in working with organizations such as Future City, Groundwork Elizabeth, and maintaining and improving our public open spaces, and in their ability to improve the quality of life for all of our residents. In August, we joined Groundwork Elizabeth at a ribbon cutting on Phase 2 of the Elizabeth River Trail, providing greener options for navigating our city. In addition, the Department of Public Works has made significant investments in our infrastructure and neighborhoods, from paving projects to streetscape initiatives. And while we work together to improve our roads, we are also improving public safety. We hired 33 new police officers who are currently patrolling the streets of our city and enforcing the law throughout Elizabeth. And in January 2019, we will hire an additional 27 to the Elizabeth Police Department. Our city is safer. Crime has been reduced thanks to our collective efforts. The Elizabeth Fire Department has hired 20 new fire officers. And for the first time in its 110-year history, this included Elizabeth's first ever female firefighter. These investments in increasing trained emergency personnel are a testament to the commitment to our residents. We continue to provide what is needed today, as well as help prepare for future generations for productive and long lives. Our city's young people deserve the best indoor and outdoor recreation to hone skills, remain competitive, and maintain healthy lifestyles. This year, the Recreation Department renovated Green Acres playgrounds to include new equipment, basketball courts, walking path, a fitness station, and a splash spray park. Carteret Park was also updated to include a new, inclusive playground and basketball court. The Exlaven Recreation Center in Bay Way has started improvements that include new bathrooms, locker rooms, parking lot, and much more. Recreation created over 500 summer jobs throughout the city of Elizabeth and served over 1,500 children daily with free lunch and snacks during the summer food program. The Office on Youth just completed their 18th year providing children with a productive atmosphere to learn, to grow, with programs such as teen mentoring, leadership programs, dance, performance art workshops, and a free SAT course. Our Office on Aging continues to increase services for our seniors with computer and English classes, arts and crafts, talent shows, and cultural events. Our program continues its tradition of showcasing the rich diversity of our city, our county, and our state. So stay with us and let's take a look back at some more memorable guests of 2018 in our city. And for this week's show, for the beginning segment, I'm pleased to be joined by our Chief Technology Officer here in the City of Elizabeth, Mr. Darren Bryden. Darren, welcome to the show.
Hello, Mayor. How are you?
How you doing?
I enjoy our fireside chats.
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 It's a new word
Chats.
You come up with there for a minute. Being a technology officer, I like new words.
I know words.
So, as a Chief Technology Officer, Darren, you're always trying to come up with new ideas, and GovPilot is something that we're instituting here in the City of Elizabeth in an incremental way.
Yes.
But tell us, how did it get started, first of all, before we get into the nuts and bolts of it?
Years ago, we had a service line where you can call in if you had an issue.
Which is something I started here in like '93.
But way before my time.
I know, but it's
was
way
just a
outdated
baby,
too,
you know,
right? Yeah, it was just a baby.
So we had a service line, and for whatever reason, it wasn't able to handle the volume, or it was difficult without technology to move the information around. Nowadays, it's much easier. So what I do is I focus on.
Well, the service line was supposed to spread the information to other departments, but it
Correct.
was breaking down.
Right.
If you called health department, construction department should know about the call,
Correct.
but that was losing in translation.
Right. So with GovPilot, it automates those processes. If you report a concern as a resident, it'll go. The logic in the system will take it to the appropriate department. So if it's overgrowth, weeds, things like that in your neighbor's yard, and it's infringing upon you, you use your phone or you can use the website, and you communicate your information to us, and it goes to the appropriate departments that are responsible for inspecting that, and then for, making sure it gets cleaned up.
So Darren, the department you work in, what exactly are the responsibilities of that getting to GovPilot?
Well, I'm in business administration, so we have kind of a global look over City Hall to try to find ways of working better. Within my department, I'm focused on what I call SMACs. So it's social media, basically, our Facebook, our Twitter, our, YouTube, all those kinds of things. Mobile apps. We have a Report a Concern app now. We have a Recycle Coach app, analytics. Once we collect data, how do we learn from that data so we provide better service going forward? The cloud, rather than building a big data center at City Hall, as we bring in new technology, we're using the cloud to store the information so that people can access it from anywhere, any device. And then security, making sure that we're keeping our residents' data safe and employees' data safe.
I never heard the term SMACs before.
SMACs, yes, SMACs.
Did you come up with this?
No. No, it's a
Take
modification.
credit for it, because
of
I haven't
something.
heard it before.
I came up with this, man.
There you go. Take credit for it. So
Someone's going to call me out on that.
you've been on the show before, but a lot's happened since the last time. When was the last time you were here?
It was about 2011, and I was on talking about social media. And then we have a new phone system that we put in just after that, a digital phone system to make it easier for us to deal with public issues. So GovPilot is the latest project that I've been working on. And we have over 1,000 records created in the system without really announcing it to the public. This is people finding it on our website or finding it on the App Store, the Google Play App Store. It's going to be on the Apple Store very soon. And people calling into City Hall and City Hall employees typing the information into the system.
Welcome back to our city. I'm pleased to be joined by Miss Joanne Jamenden. Joanne, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mayor, for having me today.
And Mr. Pat Vella, the City of Elizabeth Recycling Coordinator.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks for you've been on before, right, Pat?
Yes.
And Joanne, you haven't been on my show, but you've been on other shows here at Kane.
Probably about a decade ago.
Oh, really?
Long time.
So tell me,
So
how
glad
long
to
are you
be
with the
back.
county? Tell me about yourself a little bit, Joanne.
I'm the Bureau Chief for the County Recycling Office. I am pleased to say I'm in my 33rd year in county government. I have a few more to go.
Few
Having
more?
a good time. Yeah.
Yeah. Go for 40. You're young enough. What'd you
Sure.
start when you were 9?
That sounds perfect.
Perfect, right? Yeah. So what do you do with, recycling over there at the county level? Do you keep tabs on a guy like Pat?
One of my jobs is to work with all 21 municipal recycling coordinators. We designate the materials that are mandated to be recycled for Union County, and we work with all the towns to make sure that they're doing everything they have to do. We also work to educate residents together because every town's a little bit different. We run events together. There's a lot of I consider the municipal coordinators my co-workers.
And Pat, you are one of those co-workers. You're the recycling guru here in the City of Elizabeth. You've been doing it for a few years. Tell us about how your role is growing and evolving.
Well, I've been doing it close to 15 years now. Our program, when we first started, I feel it's been growing a lot more. Recycling is for the last 10, 15 years, it's been increasing in many different areas, and I feel that I've been growing a lot more with it also.
What's a recycling coach, Pat?
So Recycle Coach is an app that you can download on your smartphone. It's full of tons of great information for recycling. It kind of gears towards and tailors towards the individual of where they are in their town. So it tailors towards your town, and you can ask it all kinds of information when it comes to recycling. And it's a new thing that we're going to initiate now together with the county.
When did you hear about Recycle Coach?
Recycle Coach came under a different name about 3 years ago. The representatives came to county coordinator meetings, but at that time it cost money. So we were looking into it, but we weren't really all in. Luckily, we waited until 2018 when New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection decided to purchase it on behalf of the state. So now it's free to everyone, every county and every municipality in New Jersey.
So DEP purchased this, so it's their initiative?
It's their initiative. They took a look at the recycling rates in New Jersey, and we talked to them, between the counties and the municipalities and the state, and this was one thing that they could purchase that would benefit everybody.
Welcome back to our city, and I'm pleased to be joined by Mr. Bill O'Day, the Executive Director of the Elizabeth Development Company. Bill, welcome back to the show.
Always a pleasure, Mayor.
Now, you've been here before.
I've been here a couple of times.
Yeah,
Yes,
tell us how many years you're now with the development company? 20-something, right?
25. This will be my 20. This is my 25th year. It started in '93.
And how's it going over there?
I think it's going well. We've diversified more. We're doing more things related to job development and job training. We continue to do a lot of programs with loans. We continue to work with the city on a lot of the development projects that you have going up, from Jersey Gardens Mall to Midtown to the North Elizabeth train station area.
So your role at Elizabeth Development Company, it's a small company.
Yes.
Tell us about not only your role, but the makeup of the company and how we're doing things towards those goals.
So we've actually downsized over the last few years, part with funding cuts, especially federal funding cuts. We still run a good loan department. We have 2 staff people. We have a job development or workforce development department that we have 1.5 a full-time and a part-time person there. And then we have a project manager and a UEZ director.
And Bill, one of the things that we often talk about at Elizabeth Development Company is how you've been able to change the roles, and a little bit more of that. I mean, years ago it was more geared towards projects, but with the drying up of the federal money, there's clearly, you've had a change. So tell us how you've done that.
Yeah, I mean, we've focused now on a lot of loan development programs. So we work with a lot of companies that may be coming here, as well as companies that are here looking to expand their operation. And in recent years, we've really gotten more into workforce development. That is identifying companies that are looking to hire individuals, as well as identifying individuals who live in the city, especially if they're low mod income, people that have been out of work, people that have maybe in a reentry program, to trying to assist them to get the skills necessary to get back into the workforce, or to improve their skills to get a better job in the workforce.
And you mentioned loans, Bill, and one of the things the development company does is when you do a loan, have they been accepted by a bank? Is it a bridge loan with a bank? Tell us about how small companies can come about getting a loan from Elizabeth Development Company.
So we do everything with the CDBG program, which is funded through the city. We do a microloan program, which is more geared to startup businesses which would have, in the first 2 years, 5 employees or less. In those cases, we almost exclusively are the lender. Those loans go up to $20,000, and a portion of it, 20% of it, is forgiven. So someone after 5 years doesn't pay back $20,000, they only pay back $16,000. So there's a real incentive to that. On other loans, we try as much as possible. Although we do direct loans, we can do up to $750,000 in loans, but we do try as much as possible to partner with a bank. So if somebody had $1 million project or $1 million expansion of their business, they would put 15 or 20% equity in, and then we would let the bank and EDC come up and split the difference. So in that example, $400,000 from a bank, $400,000 from EDC. Sometimes we partner with a bank and EDA, or EDA and just EDC, but we try to spread.
And tell us how tax credits work in some of that situation, Bill.
So tax credits work now. We've just starting a program with employers where we're able to assist them in getting federal tax credits. So for instance, some of these things we've just learned recently. If you hire someone between the age of 18 to 39, you can get a federal tax credit of about $2,800. If you hire an ex-offender, you can get a tax credit of up to $3,000. Other categories, there are federal tax credits that individuals can get. So we're actually going to be doing a big seminar on March 15th to bring some of the larger employers in, as well as attorneys and accountants who work with businesses in Elizabeth, to educate them about that. And we're working with an accountant that will actually assist them for a small fee, 10% of whatever the credit is worth, in doing all the paperwork. And we will also work with them in identifying employees that they will be able to get the tax credits for.
Welcome back to our city, where I'm pleased to be joined by the new sheriff in town, Sheriff Peter Corbelli. Sheriff, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mayor.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
So you've never been on the show. Tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
A little bit about myself. I'm 46 years old. I live in Kenilworth. Married to my wife, Kelly. Daughter, Alyssa, 15. Daughter, Riley, 13. Started my law enforcement career in Rawway Prison back in '92. Transferred over to Hillside in '95. Retired as a sergeant. Went over to the juvenile center in Linden for a year. Transferred again over to the adult jail and decided to run for Union County Sheriff.
Well, that's great. I mean, but you also were involved in elective office in Kenilworth, too.
Was involved in Kenilworth since '01 as a councilman, elected official.
So what do you like more, law enforcement or being an elected official?
Law enforcement by far.
Law enforcement by far.
By far.
So the sheriff, getting elected to being the sheriff, kind of combines two passions of yours.
It does. It does. Very rewarding, very fulfilling.
So you've been in law enforcement now for 26 years.
26 year.
Just started as a sheriff. You're also starting some new initiatives for the county. The drone program we were talking about before the show started.
We are.
How did you come up with that idea? What's it going to do, and what exactly is it?
In this day and age, with technology, we did a little research on the drones. A $45,000 to a $50,000 investment when equipped with a tracking device or a wristlet, an anklet to, let's just say, a person with Alzheimer's, a child with autism. When enacted, we put the drone up, can pinpoint this individual's location within minutes. Puts the family at ease, saves on manpower, just a home run either way.
So this drone can track somebody that you put a wristband on, type of thing?
Absolutely. When they meet the criteria, when enacted, if this individual wanders away, if this child wanders away, we put the drone up, get our certified person to operate it, and literally within 3 to 5 feet, they'll tell us where this individual is.
That's fascinating. So will it be used for any other law enforcement purposes?
Unfortunately, when situations do arise, we can utilize the technology to, let's just say, search out a bad guy, get the surroundings of...
Track a car or something like that?
I don't know. I mean, I imagine we could follow it, I guess. We would probably look more a barricaded suspect, get out the lay of the land, forest, use the visual capabilities of the drone. But, I mean, the applications are unlimited.
So I walked outside my door one day and there was a drone there watching me pick up the newspaper.
Be careful.
What is that all about?
Be careful. That's one of your neighbors, probably.
I know. Can I shoot the
Absolutely.
drone down or what?
I don't know
I don't
about
have
that.
a gun, but
I don't know about that. But the technology is getting that sophisticated.
Why would they want to watch the mayor pick up his newspaper in the morning? I'm
I
trying
don't
to
know.
figure
Maybe they're trying to get something on you.
So the drone could be used for locating missing residents, but also law enforcement.
Sure.
So do you see yourself starting off with one or more than one of these?
I would say one for now. Train a couple people in it. See its capabilities, and from what we've heard through Monmouth County, Essex County, Morris County, it basically has a 100% success rate.
So Union County would start this, and it could benefit Union County. Do other counties have it, I guess, is what I'm going to ask.
Yes, Monmouth County has it. I believe Essex is in its initial phase, so yes. I mean, we probably mirror those programs, but like I said, the applications are enormous.
So the person has to get trained in this?
Yes.
They would operate it from inside your office type of thing?
Operated from like a central command post, and basically they would be responsible for it.
Now the SLAP program's changing gears a little bit here, Sheriff.
Sure.
Is under your office.
Yes.
A lot of viewers see these gentlemen out there with the word SLAP on it. Can you
Yes.
tell us what it stands for and how long it's been in existence?
This is the Sheriff's Labor Assistance Program. It was started by Sheriff Froelich back in '93. We're in our 25th year. The program, when utilized through the court system, low-level offenders, minor drug offenses, shopliftings, when the judge imposes a penalty on them, he can impose them to work at our, let's just say, labor force, saving towns money, doing jobs in your town, cleaning the streets.
Oh, we love it.
And please, anybody watching the program, contact the office. We have guys every day. We're looking to send these guys out and utilize their labor.
Yeah, they go up and down Elizabeth Avenue or Broad Street and clean up and.
Absolutely. I mean, saving your town workers to do different jobs with heavier equipment or, it's a home run either way.
Welcome back to our city, where I'm pleased to be joined by Councilman at Large Frank Cuesta. Councilman, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me again.
I know you've been on here before.
I have.
Yeah, so tell me, what's been going on with you since?
Several important things. I would say the most important thing is the fact that my second granddaughter was born 8 months ago, Chloe Eloise, and I am looking forward to seeing her next week.
Chloe Louise, she has an older sister named.
She has an older sister named Madison Olivia.
Yeah, so Madison, Olivia, and Chloe.
And Chloe, yes.
Yeah.
It's exciting to be a grandpa.
I know. Could you get to hold them and play with them?
Absolutely.
And give them back, right?
I'm going to spoil them.
Yeah, but then you get to give them back to the parents.
Yes,
Nice.
yeah, you do. You do.
Well, congratulations on the birth of
Thank
your
you,
second
Mayor. Thank you.
granddaughter.
Thank you.
So, you've been up to a lot personally, but also in your business career, you've been doing well with the Board of Education. Talk to us about some of the things that you've seen happen at the board that has really been a positive change.
Well, I'm really excited to have come out of retirement and work for the Board of Education at the present time. We have an incredible team of dedicated professionals, both at central office and throughout the schools. And a lot of good things are happening. A lot of the schools are improving, and we're working hard to ensure that every child receives the opportunity that he or she needs in order to become a successful citizen. And eventually our goal is that all those students either attend college or attend some kind of post-secondary education.
Now, last week I mentioned on the show the great effort that the Elizabeth High School students did in honoring those 17 people that were killed in Parkland. You were part of that organization. It worked really well.
Yes, it did. I am proud of our students in Elizabeth. They have the sensitivity and the knowledge of what's happening throughout the country, and they want to show their support and respect for others who unfortunately have suffered a tragedy.
So the Elizabeth Promise Awards are something that you started how many years ago now?
I started the program 12 years ago.
Tell us about what the Elizabeth Promise Awards are, first of all.
The Elizabeth Promise Awards is a nonprofit 501c3 organization whose mission is only to raise funds for deserving high school students who want to attend college or pursue some kind of career after high school. And I started that program in 2006 when I was the principal of Elizabeth High School Upper and Lower Academy.
And Councilman, one of the things that you've done is when you started this program, if you had 50 people, you had a lot, right? Now you've got, what, 700 people coming to dinner?
Absolutely. The other day I was reviewing some of the souvenir journals that we publish, and I came across one that only had like 7 or 8 pages. Last year, our journal had almost 100 pages, and I anticipate the same thing this year.
And Councilman, the purpose of the scholarship program is deserving students, and you meticulously go after them, right?
We absolutely do. We have a great relationship with the guidance counselors throughout the city, and we make sure that students who are doing well in school, who maintain at least a 3.0 GPA, and really want to pursue studies beyond high school, that they get some support, because nowadays colleges are extremely expensive, and any kind of support that they receive really helps them with their plans to attend school.
And Council, how many scholarships will you give out this year?
Oh my goodness, this year we are up to 55 already, and I keep getting calls. So at some point I'm going to have to say, okay, this is the number that we can deal with, because last year the ceremony itself took several hours. But don't get me wrong, I enjoy every minute of it, and I will not turn down any donations. So what I'm asking people now is, if they want to contribute more, to do so for the existing scholarships that we have, or to donate in order to cover some of the expenses that we have with the dinner, etc.
Have you kept track of how much money you've given out in 12 years?
In 12 years, we have given out more than $500,000.
In 12 years. Welcome back to our city, where I'm pleased to be joined by John McPartland, the Grand Marshal for the 2018 parade. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And I'm also joined by Kathleen Holmes, the chairwoman of the 2018 parade. Kathleen, welcome.
Thank you, Chris.
Now, you had to work your way up, right, Kathleen?
I did.
Yeah, where'd you start off? At the janitor's position? This is a
There's no shame in that. There's no shame in that.
No, tell me about yourself, Kathleen.
Well, I started as corresponding secretary. I mean, I started with the parade pretty much since the beginning, but just as a board member. And then I became corresponding secretary. From there, I became adjutant, and then I did first vice chair, second vice chair, and now general chair.
Now general chair. And Kathleen, you've been involved in the parade from the very beginning. Have you seen it grow?
Oh, absolutely, it's grown.
Tell us about that.
Well, it's grown because, you know, you just want to keep bringing the young people in, and the more we do that, they bring their friends in, which is great. It's a huge family. But we've grown because we have wonderful corporate sponsors who keep promoting our parade, and we promote it all year round. So it's a wheel in motion.
Now, you're a Union County girl, right?
I'm a Union girl.
You're a Union girl,
Yep,
so
proud to be.
still there, right, Kathleen?
Still there.
And it's marches right down the main Dragon Union.
Just about past my house.
Okay. And John, you're the Grand Marshal this year. It's a great honor.
It is a tremendous honor.
So tell us about yourself first before we get going.
Well, I'm not originally a New Jersey guy. I was born and raised in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. My father's from Ireland. My mother's parents are from Ireland. I attended St. Patrick's Grammar School in Bay Ridge, Bishop Ford High School in Brooklyn, and then St. John's University, where I met my wife of now 38 years, Karen. We have 2 children, and we're out in Union County about 25 years.
So you're a Union County guy now.
Oh, sure. Scotch Plains.
But you also own a business in Union County.
I do. I own Molly McGuire's in Clark, New Jersey on Central Avenue. We've had it for about 16 years now.
You ever been there, Kathleen?
Once or twice.
Once or twice. You stopped there. And how's business in the bar restaurant business? It's not easy sometimes.
It's not easy, but it's been really good to us. As I said, 16 years in this business is really, it's something to be proud of. And it's because of the community support we get. First of all, the Irish American community. This parade walked into us on our grand opening day, literally. They took their bus tour and they walked through the doors on the first day we were open. And since then, fast friends with the parade committee.
You think it had anything to do with the name Molly McGuire?
It might have had a little bit to do with it.
Does Molly McGuire mean anything to you in the family somewhere?
Well, it does, a little bit. Not that I talk about it a lot, but my grandfather actually fought for Irish independence back in the 1920s, and he was put in a British internment camp. He escaped. Years later, he came to this country. So, the Molly McGuires were freedom fighters back in Ireland in the 1800s, and there's stories behind them. Some of them could be a little controversial, but in honor of him, I just wanted to, for my own benefit, I just wanted to know that, I'm from a long line of people who really struggled and really fought for their independence. And today they have that, and I'm proud of it. And I'm proud of who he was.
Great story.
Oh, yeah. Proud of who he was and the lineage that I come from.
Welcome back to our city, where I'm pleased to be joined by Miss Natalie Mendez, an 8th grade student in our city. Natalie, welcome.
Hello.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
And Christiana D'Souza, another 8th grade student. Christiana, welcome.
Hello.
And their teacher, Miss Anna Maria DiGeronimo. Anna Maria, welcome.
How are you, ma'am?
Good. So, first of all, ladies, we're going to start with you. Tell me what type of art program you're involved in, and then I'm going to ask your teacher to give me the spec. What school are you going to, first of all?
Well, I go to William F. Halloran School number 22, and me and Christiana are both part of William F. Halloran's visual arts program.
Okay. And Christiana, when did you get the urge to do something like this?
The urge to join the visual arts program,
Right.
or okay.
Yeah.
During 6th grade, I used to be in band and play the flute, but I always enjoyed drawing, and Miss DiGeronimo seemed like a great teacher, so I wanted to join VA.
So that's a great segue, Mr. Geronimo.
Yes, it
You
is.
seem like a great teacher. So, are you a great teacher? Of course you are.
But they make me that.
They
It's
make
because
you
of
that.
them. They make it. I wouldn't be who I am without them.
So you've been an artist for a long time, right? I mean, you've
In education, 30 years.
30 years. And how did you get involved in that area?
When I was in high school, I met a woman who taught me, Kathleen Carolyn, and she kept telling me, you're wonderful working with other people, your art is on spot, what are you going to do in your future? And I decided to leave going into literature to pursue art. And I came here to Kane and I pursued art.
So you have a degree from Kane,
I have 3 from Kane.
and tell us about this.
And my first one is in fine arts education. It's fine arts, studio art, craftsperson / educator. So I did an entire program where I studied all the fine arts, I did the crafts part of it, and then my concluding part was actually becoming an educator, doing the program where I went back to where I teach now in Elizabeth. I did my student teaching there and managed to go there and work and have been there ever since. So it's 30 years strong. I finish in June.
And you're going to keep going.
I have a long way to go. I'm not ready to go yet.
Okay. So I not only I asked Christina, she got the urge Christiana, she got the urge in 6th grade to do visual arts. When did you get the urge to do this?
Honestly, I've always been drawing, but when I joined visual arts is when I actually began to take drawing seriously. And I joined in the 6th grade because I didn't think I would be good at music.
So what made you think that drawing, at a very young age, in other words, are you a little girl, you like to draw things? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and your parents said, wow, this is good, right?
It was okay.
It was okay. Well, it must be good if you're in the visual arts program.
Yeah, that's where I learned and I, developed my skills that got me where I am today.
Okay, and how many teachers have you had in this area?
Well, I've always been taught visual arts by Ms. Geronimo.
Always?
Always.
And Christiana, same thing?
Yeah.
So, Anna Maria, do you have the students from different age groups doing this?
Initially, I started out, I was K through 8. In the recent years, I'm doing predominantly middle school and a couple of the younger grades, but I've taught both of them for quite some time. Who was with me from 2nd grade and who's with me, from 4th grade, I think?
I'm from 4th grade.
4th grade, and
Yeah,
Christiana's
second.
had me since 2nd. They started out in my general arts program, which is 1 day a week, and then they came on to visual arts, where they see me multiple days.
So, Christiana, do you still play the flute?
No.
No, you kind of gave it up altogether, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's good. So, you mentioned that 1 day a week. How many days a week are they offered art in the system?
For regular general art, it's usually 1 day a week. The students come as a whole group, either it's all 2nd grade, 4th grade, 1 grade level, 1 classroom. But when they get into the visual arts program and the gifted and talented program, in 6th and 7th grade, their curriculum allows them to come 5 days a week. So they'll come 5 days a week, 45-minute periods. And then in 8th grade, due to some of the curriculum restraints with sciences and all, we've had to change over where they come 3 days a week. But students like Christiana and Natalie, who come 3 days a week to me, they'll come lunchtime, sit in the room. If there's a substitute teacher and they have finished their work in that classroom, they'll come sit with me. They'll stop in after school, before school, whenever they need to come in, they'll work, which is generally 5 days a week. I see them for at least an hour a day, at least an hour and a
So
half.
Christiana and Natalie, tell me, what type of art are you doing? Visual arts is a big word, so is there specifics to that?
Well, we both specialize mostly in 2D art, so on paper. But we also do digital, like her Christiana's teen art piece was a digital piece, and I also went 3D where I did design, fashion design.
Fashion design.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't stay in the 2D realm. We do everything we can.
And this week, I'm pleased to welcome to the City of Elizabeth and to the Mayor's office, Santa. Santa, welcome.
Welcome, Mayor.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How about you?
How's the toy factory going?
It's been busy.
Really?
It's been very busy this year.
I know. A lot more kids this year?
Oh, it's just nonstop.
Nonstop. So we have some people here whose parents work for the city, and they decided to join us for the show.
Oh, that is very nice.
So what we do is like to ask them a question to see what maybe they'd like for Christmas.
Oh.
So we're going to start with Evan. His dad's a fireman, fire captain in the city. His mom runs the payroll.
Oh, Evan. Very nice.
How old are you, Evan? 9. Okay, so you want to tell Santa what you might want for Christmas?
Kind of like a laptop.
A laptop. But he's a big basketball player, Santa.
He's a big basketball
He
player.
loves basketball.
Very nice. How tall are you?
4 or 5.
4 or 5. That's
Yeah.
good. He's going to be a tall one.
I hope so. You think so, Evan? I don't know. Maybe. So you want a laptop? You'll settle for basketballs? What else? Okay. Well, we might come back to you. But sitting next to you is Kirsten, right? Kirsten, how old are you? 5. I like your hair bow there. And Kirsten, what would you like to ask Santa for?
So I want an LOL, a Monster High doll, a hair adorable.
Oh, you got all that, Santa?
That's a mouthful. That is very nice.
You've had other orders like that, Santa?
I've had some other big orders as well.
Yeah?
Yes.
You're doing so far pretty good, Santa.
That's good.
Good. And next to Kirsten is Melanie. Melanie with a smile on her face. What would you like, Melanie?
I would like a bike and a little surprise, bigger surprise.
Can you ride a bicycle?
Yes.
2-wheeler? No training wheels?
No training wheels.
Okay.
Very good.
You gotta have a lot of requests for bicycles. Yeah.
I'm
you know,
sure. That's always the biggest one.
the biggest one, right?
That's one of the biggest ones.
Now, next to Melanie is the most talkative person on tonight's show. That's Isabella, better known as Bella.
Santa, I want an iPod Touch and Sim Sims.
Oh, really? Is that the same thing you want, Evan? An iPad Touch? No. You want the what?
Computer.
You want the computer. And you just want an iPad Touch. They're a little different, right? Okay. I hope you don't mix them up.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so.
Let's so. Now, on the floor, we have Gabriella. And Gabriella, how old are you? 6. Is that kindergarten or first grade?
First grade.
First grade. And what would you like from Santa, Gabriella?
An American Girl doll.
Ah, that's special.
That is
American
a very
Girl.
special one.
And you could keep getting more and more every year, right? You can get them for your birthday, right? And then for Christmas. You can have a whole collection, right? Do you have any yet? Do you have anything from American Girl yet? Oh, you do? So you want another one, right? So next to Gabriella are a couple of twins. These guys were here last year, and one likes to talk and one not so much. But this year, maybe they both like to talk. We got Benny and Eddie. Who's who?
I'm Eddie.
Okay. And how old are you guys?
Our baby sisters are 1.
Your baby sisters. And you have twin sisters, too, right?
Whoa.
So you have twin brothers who have twin sisters. What are your sisters' names?
Isabella and Sophia.
Isabella and Sophia. Do you look after your sisters?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, Eddie, what would you like for Christmas?
I want Pokemon toys.
Okay. And would you share them with your brother Benny?
Yes.
You would? Huh?
I'm Eddie.
You're Eddie. Well, how come he answered Eddie? I said, what would you like, Eddie? And Benny answered. So you guys will be confusing when you get older, huh? So how about you, Eddie? You want to go now?
I would like Pokemon Legos.
So you both want Pokemon Legos?
No, Ben wants Pokemon toys. I want Pokemon Legos.
Oh, he explained it for me, right? You got that? Do you ever confuse your parents, like pretend you're somebody else?
No.
You know, do you ever pretend you're Eddie, Benny?
No.
No? Do you ever pretend you're, no? So Santa brought some gifts with him. I don't know if it's exactly what you want, but Santa did bring some gifts with him. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you some gifts from Santa, okay? And you can open them, and then we're going to, if it's okay, we got a lot more kids to get on the show, and then you can come back and we're all going to sing some Christmas carols together. All right? Let's see what we have from Santa. Isabella, here you go. It's from Santa. Here you go, Evan.
There you go, Evan.
Gabriella. This is for Melanie. This is for Kirsten.
Kirsten.
Benny. You sure you're Benny, not Eddie? Here, Benny. And we got one for Eddie. So I want to thank the young people here on the first segment of the show, and we're going to come back in a few minutes with more children from the city of Elizabeth that want to visit with Santa in the mayor's office. Please stay with us. Welcome back to our city, and I'm pleased to be joined by Mr. Jonathan Phillips, who's the Executive Director of Groundwork Elizabeth. Jonathan, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Mayor, for having me.
Ms. Jennifer Costa from the Elizabeth Destination Marketing, who's been on quite a bit, haven't you?
We've been busy.
We've been busy. And Miss Eileen Kelly, who is the Director of our Public Health Nursing Staff.
Hi.
Eileen, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
You usually come on for flu stuff.
I know. This is different. We're doing something different this year.
I know. We're going to get into that in a minute on how you're handling all this. So, why don't we start with Eileen, with you? What are we doing? What are we doing different? What's your background? You've been with the city now, what, about 20 years?
Yeah, 20 years. I'm on my 20th year.
And you're in charge of the nurses. Tell us about
Yeah,
that.
I'm the nursing supervisor for, well, right now there's 6 nurses. And, you know, we have a contract to do the non-public schools, and we have clinics and flu programs and immunizations and STDs and communicable diseases and anything else that's going on in Elizabeth.
You gave out quite a few flu vaccines this year, huh?
Yes, we did. We did. And we're still seeing a lot of positive flu results coming over from the hospital still. Like when they go into the emergency room, they still swab them and they're still, you know, there's still cases. So
Did we run out of flu vaccine this year?
No.
No, we don't have much left.
No, we
though.
were still vaccinating, you know, on a demand basis when they
In
called.
March, right?
Yeah. And April, I think we did a couple. You know, the people were getting a little scared, so.
Well, you always have the pleasure of sticking me every October.
Yes, I do, and you're wonderful.
I don't cry, right?
No, you don't.
Oh, okay, that's a good thing. So, Jennifer, tell us about your role at Elizabeth Destination Marketing.
I am the Director of Tourism, promoting Elizabeth. I work for...
Who would ever think we were going to do that 20 years ago?
That's right.
Tourism in Elizabeth.
That's it. That's it. Well, we're definitely making headway, not just for Elizabeth, but for the state of New Jersey as well. We were voted one of top 5 emerging destinations in the country. So we definitely have a lot of assets right here in our own city.
Well, tell us about that November meeting that I attended in Atlantic City, where the tourism director talked about the efforts Elizabeth was making.
Absolutely. So the state of New Jersey is actually looking at our city as a case study for the way tourism needs to be run in the rest of the state. We're funded by the tourism fee that's posed on the hotel room nights, and we operate completely as a separate entity. And because of that, we're privileged to be self-sustaining. And one of our major connections that we made was through Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines. So now out of Bayonne, New Jersey, they will be coming on buses into Elizabeth, or they are actually already doing that, visiting our historic sites, and they're also shopping at our mall.
And so, Jonathan, Groundwork Elizabeth, tell us about the organization. You helped start it, one of the first in the country.
Okay, Mayor. Well, first of all, I'd like to say that's really interesting news on your announcements about the parking lot for cyclists. That's really phenomenal.
Oh, yeah, well, you're a big bicycle guy, right?
I mean, that's just amazing.
Oh, you didn't know about this till now?
Not really.
So you're out of the loop, Jonathan. You better get back in it.
Definitely. So all the bicycle Tour de Elizabeth people will be really interested in hearing about that as well, I'm sure. Yeah, Groundwork Elizabeth is a nonprofit. And in fact, you joined us in the back of the Elmora Library about a week or so ago to see what we were doing back there in our work in urban agriculture, which we do. We also, of course, do the tour. We do a Green Workforce Initiative, Green Jobs program. We work on the Elizabeth River Trail, which we were talking about a little bit while ago. And we also have this great youth development Green Team program where we actually educate youth and make them advocates of the environment.
I think it's absolutely terrific that we, when I first became the mayor, if you ever thought that I would be doing tourism in the city and encouraging Green Team works, things have changed. Also, dealing with terrorism issues too has changed in another direction, but you know, it's fascinating to see the change in the direction that the city's moving in.
It's phenomenal. Actually, as you know, this year, with all the things you just said, we have a theme called Destination Elizabeth. So
well, I was going to ask you, Jonathan, this is the 15th year.
Yeah.
So how has it changed? And you know, has it changed from when it first started?
Well, first of all, Elizabeth is clearly now a destination. It always was. We always knew it. I remember seeing your promotions. We've been here 350 years, but we're just getting going now.
You remember that commercial?
I do. I love that.
Who'd I do it with?
Colicchio.
Tom Colicchio, the chef.
And Darren is in there, and a number of people from the city. But that was a great promotion. I hope we keep keep running that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So 15th year, but you were in the reason to start it, Jonathan, is your family was in the bicycle business for 100 years.
Yeah, I was just thinking, if we
On
were
the
still
100th
there,
anniversary.
if we were still there, it'd be our 118th birthday this year. So we started in 1904. My wife's grandfather came up from South Carolina to Elizabeth, New Jersey, and began with a bicycle business. And not only did he do bicycles, but he also did the motorcycles for the Elizabeth Police Department. He actually took care of them as well. They were called Indian motorcycles. But he decided that bicycles was better. He liked that more. And he had the opportunity, believe it or not, we talk about this in the family, we might have talked about it in other shows, but he could have been the first Ford dealer in the state of New Jersey, but he thought bicycles were the way to go instead of cars.
Well, I guess that was a big choice to be made back then, right?
It was.
It's the same thing today. Who would figure cell phones in the 1980s were going to take off the way they did, right?
Yeah, right.
So Jennifer, we got a few days before the tour.
Yes.
And the theme is Destination Elizabeth. Now, did you come up with that, or did Jonathan come up with that?
No, actually,
had
that
to have
came
something to do with it,
from
right?
Groundswork, and we're very privileged that this year the theme revolves around tourism, because while we have been traveling the country and promoting to tour groups and
You got a
travel
great job,
agents
don't you? You get paid to travel the
outside,
country.
it's a lot of work
wanna
and
switch?
a lot of
You wanna
miles.
switch?
And so while we've been promoting Elizabeth outside the state for people to come in and visit our city, it really gives us an opportunity to be able to tell our local story and to get people who actually live in Elizabeth that we are a tourist destination. And so the theme ties in, and it's a great way that we can connect with our locals.
Welcome back to our city. For the second half of the show, I'm pleased to be joined by Linda Flores-Tober of the Coalition to Shelter the Homeless here in the city of Elizabeth. Linda, welcome back to the show.
My pleasure.
You've been
Good
here
to see
before.
you. I have been.
Yeah.
Usually for our Hoops to End Homeless game.
Right, we've talked about some other issues, housing and other issues, not only on the show, but elsewhere.
Absolutely.
So it's good to have you here again.
Good to be here.
And how long are you with the Coalition?
I've been there for 27 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you
It's
help
been a long
start it?
time. No. I've been around for about 10 years before I came.
Not all, though. It's about a 40-year organization. in the
Almost
city.
40, yep.
And who started it? Was it?
It was started by a group of citizens in Elizabeth who wanted to address the issue of homelessness because during the Reagan years, a large number of families started becoming homeless. And there was a need to address it because we had no shelter in Elizabeth. And so they were able to get shelters in Elizabeth, but you can't just, like, okay, we got a shelter and walk away. We started to do services, and the next thing we know, we became
So
an
tell
agency.
me about, I know she retired, so tell me about Sister Jacinta's role in the Coalition.
Well, she was one of the founders, really there to just address the issues of poverty and homelessness and what can we do about it, and always pushing the envelope, so to speak, to make people take charge and do something to make change.
So Linda, now that she's retired, does she still come around?
Well, she's still living there,
Oh, she is.
and so she'll be officially gone in March.
She'll actually leave the premises?
Oh yeah, she's going to be moving down to Baltimore with her order.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to miss her. I didn't know she was actually moving out.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
So.
Oh, I'm going to miss her around these parts.
We sure will.
Yeah, because I was at a
Well,
retirement event, but I didn't know she was actually going to move.
Well, she'll be back to visit. Don't you can be sure of that. This is her baby.
So what is the Coalition to House the Homeless? What's your mission? What are your attempts to do? Because you play a role in society that not a lot of people understand.
Well, we do two things. One, we address certainly the immediate issue of being homeless. So we provide services to those who are homeless and imminently homeless. And then, of course, we try to address the root causes of homelessness through public education, through getting people interested in being involved so that they can start looking at what causes homelessness. And of course, we know those are two things: lack of affordable housing and a lack of jobs or living wages. And so when people are underemployed or unemployed, they can't afford their housing. The big issue right now is the working poor. They're not able to find housing. And, so then
And that's a bigger problem than a lot of us think.
Oh, it's huge. Right. We see people every week come in who a family is sleeping in their car with their children. We had one woman was a substitute school teacher, so she had sporadic work, but couldn't get a place to live and was sleeping in a car with an autistic child. So we were able to get her housed, and then she continued, to do her work. But it was that lift of getting that first month's rent and security that's so hard.
And we worked with you on that, some of those transitional housing. How does that working out, by the
So
way?
we have houses in Elizabeth that provide up to 9 months of sheltering for a working homeless family. So we're actually addressing that immediate population. And it allows them to have a place that's home-like, hospitable, and save money to be able to move on to their own permanent housing. And that's always the goal of whatever we do, is to get people into permanent housing.
Welcome back to our city, where I'm pleased to be joined by Miss Donna Hunter, who is a certified homemaker, home health aide with Community Access. Donna,
Hello.
welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Mr. Bill Webb, a special projects consultant. Bill, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, they got you down here as William Webb. You don't mind I call you Bill?
Bill is fine. I
Okay.
prefer that. Thank you.
And of course, Miss Barbara Blaze, a resident of Roselle and a participant in the Community Access Home Health Care Program. Barbara, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, sir.
So before we begin, maybe we can start with you, Bill, and tell us about Community Access Unlimited, what it exactly is. Tell me your role there and refresh our viewers. But it's good to see you back.
Nice to see you back too, Mayor Village. Yeah. Community Access started about 1979, so we're almost 40 years old. And it started in response to the need for community transition for people with disabilities from institutional care to community living. So with almost 40 years of experience helping people with disabilities with residential services, community supports, all kinds of wraparound services, we have lots of experience helping people to live safe, secure, and independent lives in the community. We serve about 350 people in Union County in residential care. That also includes some youth who've been transitioning out of foster care. And then another 200 or 300 with community supports just in Union County alone. And then statewide, about 6,000 people altogether are served by the agency. A variety of services, including financial management, recreation, social activities, money management, employment, training, educational programs, all kinds of things that are necessary to live a fully independent, self-sufficient life.
Thank you, Bill. And Donna, how long are you with Community Access? And tell us your role there as well.
Yes, I've been with Community Access. It'll be 6 years in August. I started as an assistant support counselor, working hands-on with the disabled. And I did that for 3 years, and then they offered the home health care program. So I signed up for the Community Access Home Health Aid program, and I became a senior home health aide. In March, it'll be 3 years.
Now, do you work with Barbara, or do you help?
Yes, Barbara is one of my clients, and I take Barbara out shopping. We go grocery shopping. I take her to doctor's appointments and, home care to show her activities of daily living because she is disabled.
So, Barbara, tell me about yourself. And first of all, thanks for taking the time. I know you walk with a cane, and you came all the way here to Kane University and get up here to do the show. So that's a real thanks from me to you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Yes, Donna is my assistant, I should say, and I've never had that. I've been a viable citizen of Roselle. I am a former airline employee, but I had to go on disability because my daughter had been diagnosed with cancer. Okay, so I had to take care of her. But just recently, I had a hernia operation, which the mesh broke, and I became paralyzed. I was in the hospital for 9 months, and I had the beauty of meeting Joanne Hamilton from the social worker that we had, because as a Medicare recipient, we only have 6 hours. Once you get the 6 hours, you're gone. You don't get any more help. And I was unable to walk, okay? When I met her, she said I was viable to be a client. And from the first day I met Miss Hunter, Donna, she picked me up because I didn't want to live as a person, okay? I'm not used to not being able to walk. And I'm walking.
You told me you've been walking since October
Yes,
before
sir.
we started taping the show.
Yes.
Feels great, right?
Well, at first I was frightened. I'll be very honest with you. The things that I used to swim 3 days a week. Okay, I'm a community member. I work for Christine D'Angelo. I know you know her.
The great mayor of Roselle.
Right, right. And I ran for committee person. So I'm viable. I volunteer. I work for Presbyterian Daycare Center. I'm on the board there. I can't now. I can't get up the steps. But I'm getting up the steps. She's
Yes.
helping me. And that's what we need. We need more aides or home health care people with the initiative to get people like me back.
So can I ask, when did Community Access get involved in the home health care side of the ledger
Actually,
here?
yeah, actually started in 2015. I think Community Access realized that, first of all, we already were providing a whole range of health services for our residents in our community, in our programs. So we have lots of nursing expertise and lots of connections with medical practitioners and hospitals and stuff like that. And we realized, especially as our population was aging, there are more and more issues that come up that need attention. And then we realized it was true in the general community that Elizabeth and Union County's senior population is growing. I think there's 12,000 seniors over 65 in Elizabeth and 74,000 in Union County.
You know, I went to the JFK library with my daughter recently, and I actually got the senior discount. I felt really bad about that.
Enjoy it.
I saved $2. I was like, wow.
Enjoy it for many
I
years.
didn't know whether that was a good thing when the woman said to me, do you want the senior discount or not?
But you've arrived.
I was afraid to tell my wife that I got this. But anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's good. That's good news. So there's a growing senior population, and then of course we're concerned about the population of people with disabilities in Elizabeth and Union County. I think there's 8,000 folks under 65 with disabilities in Elizabeth and something like 32,000 in the county. So there are many, many people, many more than we currently serve, who are in an at-risk situation as they get older and as their health conditions may decline, or maybe they have a chronic illness that needs maintenance and care. Most people would prefer to live at home as long as they can, rather than going to a nursing home or assisted living. And home health care provides an alternative with personalized care for people to help them maintain independent lives in their homes, which is that's how we got into it.
That's how you got into it. So
yeah.
Donna, and you've been doing it since 2015, right?
Yes,
And
I started actually in 2015. It'll be 3 years. The 21st of this month, I have an anniversary.
So what kind of help do you provide to people as they age? I mean, we just heard
Yes.
Barbara's story, and we're going to go back to her in a few minutes. But
Yes,
what's the overall holistic efforts that you do?
Yes, I help them with experiencing everyday activities of living, to teach them how to get back into cooking, to learn how to take their medications on time, to teach them how to walk. Some of them can't walk, they're using walkers, doing range of motion exercises to help them with their limbs and muscles, and medication reminders, taking them up to appointments to dentists and doctor's appointments to remind them of those things that they need to do, taking them grocery shopping, for nutrition, picking out nutritious foods and things for them that they can have to, to help
you go
them.
shopping for me.
Yeah.
She's
to help
good.
them, yeah.
She's good, huh?
Yeah.
She's good.
She's good,
She
Barbara?
knows all
Yes.
the people in the
Yes.
And the supermarket?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, pick out the
You get
most
deals too?
nutrition.
you do the coupons and all that stuff?
Yeah, we can do coupons, yes. But just to help them look at the nutritional value that they need to help themselves, to become more healthy for themselves.
Those were some of the highlights for the 25th season of Our City. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as we have enjoyed bringing it to you. Our new season will start January 2nd with the State of the City address. So be sure to tune in, as I will be detailing some new initiatives and programs that are sure to continue to make Elizabeth the #1 community in our state. On behalf of my wife Nancy and our daughter Jacqueline, thank you for making 2018 a great year, and may God bless you and your family in this coming new year.